Hey, good afternoon. Gino Pettis Adventures. I'm still Gino. Good to be back. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome too. Glad to see you. Today, we're going to talk about online dating in Colombia. Do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts. And the do's are, do it. LatinCupid.com. It's the best way I found to find ladies in Colombia. It's also probably the best way to get scammed, or one of them. So let's don't do that. But let's go to LatinCupid.com and see what you need to do. Number one, you need to go check it out and see if you like the ladies that you see on there. Number two, you need to put up a good profile. Current pictures of your fat, old, ugly self, or your skinny, old, ugly self, or your handsome, old, ugly self. Just make them current pictures. Be honest. Honesty is the best policy. Because there's nothing worse. It's kind of like realtors. Have you ever noticed how realtors' pictures are 10 years younger than they really are when you meet them? Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's why if you start a relationship or you get to know ladies or men on LatinCupid.com, the number one thing to do is you have to have WhatsApp, and you need, after you talk to them on the phone a couple of times on WhatsApp, you need to do video conferencing. If they won't do video conferencing, that is a huge red flag. Don't do it. Run away, run fast, far, far away. Danger, danger, Will Robbins. If they won't do video conferencing, you don't want to talk to them. If you won't do video conferencing, they shouldn't talk to you. It's just all around a good thing. Number two, don't fall in love with the first person you meet online. Happens. It's not pretty. And then there's a few things that you need to avoid. Let's see. Number one is if you're speaking to a gal in Colombia and you've known her a week or two, and she starts telling you that her phone is no good and she can't do video conferences, and Papito, why don't you buy me a phone? You know, the new iPhone 13 would just really be nice, and why don't you just send me the money or buy me a phone? Don't do it. Gino at Gino Pettis Adventures has a famous saying: don't be stupid. I mean, if you met a gal at the bar last night and she called you on the phone and said, today, would you buy me a new iPhone? What are you going to tell her? You're going to buy her a new iPhone? Well, if you do buy her a new iPhone, you're dumber than I thought. But just don't do it. Don't do it. And then what you need to do is you need to go on and on a little while on video conferencing and see if you're really hitting it off. Another red flag is that if you're rocking along there after a month or two and they go, well, I want to move out of my family's house because we're having challenges and I want to get my own apartment, and will you rent me an apartment? Well, number one, in Colombia, if you're 35 and still living at home, it's probably okay, because a lot of people do it and it is not looked down upon. As a matter of fact, I have friends whose girlfriends won't move in with them because they love living at home. Now, after they get married, obviously they're going to move in together, and we're talking about younger women here. But if they start asking you for rent money, No, no, no. No rent money. Don't do it. Don't do it. Or another one is if they start asking you, for rent money because they want to change barrios because the barrio they live in is really, really dangerous. Well, those are just all red flags if you're online dating. Okay, so that makes it more difficult. If you actually come down to Colombia and want to meet women here, the best way to do it is have some friends. You may get some friends on an expat group before you come, and they can kind of show you around, or they might know somebody that they would introduce you to, and it's a good way to start. But the way I did it is I met Maria online, and we talked for months on the phone, and I didn't know about video conferencing, and I was just quite fortunate. I was just quite fortunate because we didn't do video conferencing, but when I finally met her, her pictures were current, and so were mine, and it worked. I was truly blessed. So I was truly blessed. And so all of that being said, the best way to find out if you like it or not, if you like Latin women or not, if you can get around the language barrier, is to get on LatinCupid.com or ColombianCupid.com. As a matter of fact, if you look down in the description, there's a link down there somewhere on how to get there. So just remember, if they start asking you for money right up front, run away and run fast, okay? Maybe you might even want to block them because some of them are pretty persuasive. If they start asking you for rent money, if they start asking you for a new phone, if they start asking you for just inappropriate stuff, just run away. But the second best way to do it is to come to Colombia and meet some friends, and the friends will hook you up. And that's a much easier way to do it because you're not going to pick women up at the bar here. This is not a hookup country. It's just not a hookup country, just the way it is. But but if a friend hooks you up and you get going, it's really nice because in the long run it all works out much better anyway. So that's kind of my rant today about online dating and dating in general in Colombia. So if you got any questions or comments, put them down in the bottom. Subscribe button's over here somewhere. And remember, it's the first day of the rest of your life. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. So this is Gino, signing off yet again. And we will see you on the flip side.